Hi there. This is chapter 76 of The Flower of Freedom by Deborah J. Reeves. That's me. And all rights to both the original book and to my presentation of it are reserved. I hope you'll be comfortable in your seat. It's waiting for you as always. Please settle in. This is chapter 76, Emerging. Everyone ate in the dining room as soon as they came downstairs. No one loitered or delayed that morning. They were soon in the car, headed toward the hospital. As they entered the emergency reception area and told the new lady at the front desk who they were there to see, the lady buzzed the emergency physician. The young man came out to meet them with smiling eyes. "Good news," he told the group, as Dietrich kept a running commentary for those who did not speak German. "He emerged from the coma about half an hour ago. He's alert, and he's complaining that he's hungry. That, I assure you, is very good news. We have just sent him upstairs to a room for recovery." The doctor told them the floor number and the room number to which Bertie had been sent, but he warned them that he would not be ready for visitors for at least half an hour. "Even then, I must warn you that they are very strict on that ward. They are very protective of their charges. They may not allow you to visit him, and your visits might be limited to short periods of time." Dietrich had barely finished translating the last words when Philippe pointed to the elevators. The group ran toward them, calling, "Danke, Doctor, danke!" The elevator seemed to be mocking their angst as it took its leisurely stroll up to the floor that they wanted, but eventually it opened. There behind the desk sat a nurse in a stiffly starched uniform who looked more like a prison warden than a healthcare worker. "Who are you here to see?" she asked, standing and glaring at the group. Herr Bosk stepped forward, and he told her that they were there to see Bertrand Saint-Laurent. "Ah, yes, Herr Bosk. He has just arrived, and we will need some time to settle him into his room. No one will be permitted to visit him for at least half an hour. You may wait, very quietly, in that area over there." She pointed to a bank of seats at the far end of the corridor. "I will remind you that people on this floor need rest more than anything else, and I will thank you to put their needs first. Only 2 of you will be permitted to visit at any given time, and only 1 pair will be allowed to visit per hour. No flexibility is possible if you wish to see a full recovery." With that, the huge woman pointed toward the seats, and the group meekly moved along. When they were all seated, Uncle Aki leaned forward, and he whispered, "I think that woman would guard him with her life. She seems like an old curmudgeon, but I bet she has the heart of a warrior queen beating in her chest. That's the kind of person you want on Bertie's side in a crisis like this." Everyone seated there looked surreptitiously at the nurse at the desk and recalibrated their feelings toward her. Helmut Bosk said, "We need to make a plan, Aki and Marie. You must see Bertie first. He needs to see comforting faces, and you need the consolation of knowing how he is. As soon as you can cope with giving up seeing him for an hour, he needs to see his friends as well. He does not need to see strangers like us or his hockey people. We will all be happy with any updates you can give us." And Helga nodded her agreement. "In fact, I can take the car home with whomever wishes to go back at this time. I promise to return you whenever you want to be here. While we are away, we will phone everyone on the list to inform them of the good news. They will be so relieved to know that he has come out of the coma. Dietrich, It might be best if you stayed to translate. Would you like me to bring you back something when I return? I do want to stay, Mother, thank you. If you could bring back my books from my bedside table and some spending money, that would be great. Everyone else felt they needed to stay, so Helmut handed Helga the list of names and phone numbers that he had in his coat pocket. They discussed what she should say, including that he was not allowed to have visitors until further notice, and her husband promised to keep her informed of developments. She kissed his cheek and blew a kiss to her son and waved to the others, saying, "Call any time, and I will leave home within minutes to collect you." Then she went back down the elevator and out of the hospital. It was then that Marie looked at Aki with panicked eyes. "We haven't informed Mama and Papa," she cried out to Aki, who was sitting in the next seat. "My dear, I have thought this through. When I spoke to your father to ask permission to ask Bertie to play, I told him the situation at the ski resort. It was then that he told me that your mother had scheduled a minor surgery while Bertie was away. He said that someone named Dr. D was fixing her plumbing. Is that a Canadian expression that I do not know?" he wondered. "Oscar does not want to worry her right now as she recovers." "No, Uncle Aki, it's a euphemism for women's health issues." "Oh," Aki ignored that, and he went on with a little embarrassment. "We would only have ruined the whole night's sleep for them when we had no real information for them. Now we know that he is no longer in the coma. He may in fact be able to speak with them himself. This morning, I know they have a right to know, but we must protect them too. Can you imagine the fear and distress they would have felt if we had called them last night? Just think of what you were feeling, and you were right here with him. I think this is the right course of action. Helmut will arrange for Bertie's telephone to allow international calls when we are visiting him for the first time. When we leave his room, he will have a better understanding of what was happening and what his future holds. He can be the one to inform them if he wishes, and if they hear that he is his old self, it will give them comfort." That's the end of chapter 76.